Hi, Shannon Gonta here with Therapy by Shannon. Today we're going to focus on how hard it is to have difficult conversations in our relationships. So we kind of all know that feeling. Your palms get sweaty, you feel that lump in your throat, you know you need to say something, but it just really never feels right. So you don't know where to start, but you know if you could just get that first word out, it would all be better, but you just can't. So you hold it in some more, and then you hold it in a little bit more until you just can't stand it. And then you lose your shit and explode like no other. Maybe at that individual, or maybe at someone totally involved, like someone who's checking you out at Kroger and just really isn't scanning the groceries fast enough. So we kind of all been there. I'm guilty of it, and it sucks. I want to take some time and share some steps that can make it easier for you to better prepare for these difficult conversations so you don't kind of explode on innocent bystanders. So this doesn't mean that you're gonna kind of want to have difficult conversations with everyone and it's going to be a breeze and that you'll have a PhD in difficult conversations. I mean, I really don't think you're going to be knocking on your neighbor's door asking like, hey, do you have anything really worrisome and hard to say to your boss or your partner today? If so, I'm going to do it for you. I thoroughly enjoy having difficult conversations. But I really do think that you'll be able to prepare and approach these conversations from a different angle and in the end receive better results. So, kind of before those difficult conversations start, you really want to define your needs and you need to be direct and very specific. So, I know a lot of people really like to skirt around the issue and kind of take the scenic route to the point of the conversation, but honestly, that just makes it confusing for all and adds a little bit too many pieces to the puzzle that really don't need to be there. So just ask yourself, like, what am I wanting to get out of this conversation? And see what comes up, and maybe even jotting those down on a piece of paper so it can better organize it for you. Um, Kind of the idea is because, like, when you take time to do this, it's easier to understand your true emotions about the subject and easier to separate them from the behavior that you're looking to change or that you want someone else to change. So, kind of when you're starting that conversation after, um, you're going to really want to describe your emotions first. So, be cautious of how you kind of start out the conversation. You really want to create like a calm environment. You want to bring compassion to the conversation so that the recipient doesn't automatically get put on their defenses. So, try not to use like all or nothing statements like, you always do this, you never do that, or kind of make assumptions about them. So, like, I bet you're going to think I'm crazy, but so kind of suggest using like an I statement. So, for example, like, don't say like, you always make me feel so sad. Maybe say, I feel sad. Can I talk to you about something? It's been on my mind for a while and I really want to open up. Um, After that, you're going to want to describe the situation. So, kind of after that emotional based statement, and like the environment has been set, you kind of want to bring up that difficult topic. You want to take a deep breath and go. So remember to be clear and concise. So an example of how to do this would be, I was worried and angry when you came home at 2 a.m. on Tuesday night drunk. Opposed to, don't say this, you are always coming home so late on weeknights and you've clearly had over your limit to drink. You really know how to push my buttons. After you kind of set the stage, stop, take another deep breath, and allow the other person to digest the information and kind of respond accordingly. Now, remember that if this is your first time, like trying this out, and you usually respond like in the how not to example, the person on the receiving end might need some extra digestion time to kind of like adjust their expectations for the rest of the conversation. So, really try your best to be patient in this process. But then you really want to focus on opening the door for conversation and discussion to compromise, or to possibly compromise. So there's really no guarantee with how this is going to go. And there are a couple different routes, but so kind of the first one, maybe the other person's defenses are already so high and they just aren't ready for that conversation and they kind of shut down immediately and close those doors. The other option would maybe be that the person just isn't ready for that conversation right now. So you're going to set a time to revisit this topic and have some time to think it over. So maybe a day or so in between the conversations. And then the third one is that maybe, both parties are ready to have a productive conversation, compromise, make a solution and move forward from it. And honestly, like, neither of these responses are inherently good or bad or right or wrong. but they are going to give you a good idea of how steady of a ground you're standing on in regards to that topic. And so you can remember that it's not like a one and done thing, and that this is something that is ever evolving and may take more times with others than it does for you, but that's okay. It's just more and more data that you can collect on the situation and on that individual to really help you hone in on this process and bring that self awareness to all these difficult conversations that we have to have every day with so many different people in our lives. Okay, well, that's all I have for you on difficult conversations. If you want to learn more about me and my practice, you can check me out on Instagram or on Facebook at Therapy by Shannon, or you can read more of my blogs and watch more of my videos at www.therapybyshannon.com. Thanks.